Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Q1 Qovery Demo Day. My name is Alessandro. I'm the head of product at Qovery. Today, I'll be walking you through the amazing features and improvements that the team shipped over the last quarter. And together with my co-hosts, we will also run a few demos to show you what we've done. Now, let me introduce my co-host today. So we have Kylian and Roman with me. Please.
Hello everyone. I'm Kylian. I'm a tech product software engineer in Qovery. I'm working primarily on the AI Copilot and the MCP Server.
Hello, my name is Romain. I'm working at Qovery as a head of engineering, and I'm following all the product and tech-related stuff at Qovery. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. And thanks for being here with me today. They will be helping me showcase the feature that they built in Q1. So moving forward, for those who are watching this video and are not familiar with Qovery, so I'm going to explain quickly who we are. Qovery is a Kubernetes management platform working with more than 200 companies, from scale-ups to enterprise companies. The idea is simple. Running Kubernetes in production means dealing with a lot of day-to-day operations. On one side, for DevOps teams managing the infrastructure. On the other side, for developers who just want to ship new features. We take the complexity away on both sides. So by giving DevOps a single place to manage clusters with provisioning upgrades, while giving developers a self-service experience to deploy and manage their environment without needing to touch the infrastructure or to ask, for example, for help to the DevOps team. We built the platform on top of Kubernetes, so it can run on the major cloud providers, but also on-premise. And it's composed about 5 core modules. So we have a provision, deploy, observe, optimize, and secure. And on top of that, we are building an AI layer, so to supercharge both DevOps and developers on their day-to-day work. And all of these capabilities are accessible the way your team actually works. So through the UI, the API, the CLI, Terraform provider, or the MCP server that we're going to talk about it later. And we have all the interfaces needed to integrate Qovery into your existing stack. Without requiring you to rethink the way you work, you can just integrate Qovery within your system. Now, let's get into the feature we have delivered over the last quarter. We're going to start with the event-based autoscaling. So when it comes to scaling your application, CPU and memory are not enough. It's a good way to start, but it becomes not enough at some point in production. What actually drives the need to scale is real demand. So you have more customers, more requests, more messages in a queue. That's actually what that's what your application should react to. This is why we introduced KEDA. So in Qovery, KEDA is an open source project that lets you define autoscaling rules based on the metrics that actually matter for your workload. For example, you want to monitor, for example, the depth of an SPS queue, the lag on a topic, on a Kafka topic, or any custom business metric you want to monitor. And with Qovery, everything is completely configurable within our platform without any maintenance. So we take care of installing KEDA, maintaining it, and pushing the right configuration in your cluster. And now I'm going to run a small demo just to show you how it looks like. Let me share my screen. I'm going to move into another section. Here we are. Still loading, but it's coming up. Here we are. So we have this is let's say a sample application. Is an application that is actually producing and consuming messages from the same from the same SPS queue. So we deployed an SPS queue via Qovery, so via the Terraform module that we're gonna discuss about it later. But this application basically it has been configured to use KEDA to autoscale. So if I go, for example, in the resource section, now I can see that Before releasing KEDA, we have only the horizontal part of the scaler, so which means basically that your application can scale based on CPU usage or memory usage. With KEDA, so we have introduced this configuration inside the settings of the applications that allows you to define basically scalars. So a scalar allows you to monitor some metric. It can be an SQSQ, can be a Kafka topic, or maybe Datadog metrics, and define how the application should react based on the information it gets from the target scalar. In this case, for example, I have a scalar of type AWS SQSQ, which basically is monitoring a configuration, an SQSQ which is available at this address. And basically, every time a new message is added into the queue, a pod, so a new instance of the application is going to be created to consume that message. There are also some parameters necessary to authenticate and get access to the queue, which can be configured directly into the application. Now, if I move, for example, into the UI, so there is a small UI about the application, we can see that now there is only one message in the queue, so there is only one pod running. Now, if I said, for example, add new messages in the queue, so I'm going to send it twice. So at some point, we're going to see that the queue depth it's increased, and now it's up to 3. So there is a small lag in the UI, which should increase at some point to 3. It went back, so it's increasing now. And if I go back basically to the application itself, I'm going to see that at some point, here we are. So I have 2 more new messages in the queue. And here we are, we're getting the 2 new pods reacting basically. So this KEDA is reacting to the number of messages in the queue. And now it's triggering the autoscaling of the application and creating new pods to consume those messages now available in the UI, in the SQSQ, sorry. That was it for KEDA. Now, going back to the presentation, let me find it back. We have been working as well. The next one is about tags management. So we know that understanding where infrastructure spend is going is critical. So especially as your Kubernetes footprint grows over time, the standard way to do this is through resource tagging. So you attach custom tags to your cloud resources so you can track costs by team, environment, or any dimension that matters for your organization. So until now, doing this on Qovery managed clusters required some kind of workaround, but now you can define custom tags directly in Qovery and have them automatically applied to your cluster resources. So as you can see, you can have basically directly in the UI a way to define your value and the key that can be attached to any of the classes that you have in your Qovery account, so that finally your FinOps team will be happy that everything is tagged properly. This one is one of the best features we delivered recently. So Kubernetes deployments and cloud resources deployment have always lived in 2 different places. So we have different tools, different workflows, and this creates kind of friction. This is why in Q4 last year, we built Terraform and OpenTofu support directly inside Qovery. The idea is simple, have everything in one place, your Kubernetes workloads, and your cloud resources, side by side in the same environment. You can deploy any cloud resources through Terraform and pass outputs directly to your workloads without any plumbing. So following some customer feedback, in Q1, we shipped several improvements on top of that foundation. And now I'm going to leave the mic to Romain, who's going to jump into a demo and show you what we've done.
Thank you, Ali. Let me share my screen first. Up. Up. So the goal is to present you the new Terraform service. I'm taking, for example, the project that we use to develop the DevOps Copilot and the MCP Server at Qovery. So this is a real project that is used in production. And I will take, for example, how to create a simple S3 bucket. So let's say you have a Terraform that contains for your modules, and you have a mem for TF, a variable, version, and outputs. And this Terraform is simple, like creating a S3 bucket and attaching a AEM user and policy to it. So if you want to create a Terraform service recovery, it's as simple as creating a new service, going for Terraform. So we name it. Up. You select your Git tokens to be able to access your repository. Up. So you select your repository, your branch, and where is supposed to be your Terraform. So in our case, in the folder Terraform and S3, you choose your engine version. By default, it's Terraform, HashiCorp from Terraform. But if you want, you can switch to OpenTofu. You have the credential. Either you use your own credential that you inject through ARM variable, or if you want to get up and running quickly, you can use like the credential that you provided us from your cluster. Up. So at this stage, we scan your Git repository and we try to go through all the Terraform file and parse all the variables that are listed in your Terraform. So for example, we found like there is a variable.tf file in your Git repository that declares the variable address region, bucket name, EAM username, and the Qovery environment ID. So here in the UI, you can edit and overwrite variable. So for the case of the example, I'm going to prefix stuff with test, so it don't clash with the real one. A recap page to ask you to see if everything is correct. And after, you can create your Terraform and run a plan. So here is the new Terraform service that is going to be deployed. So for now, it's queued. Let's wait a bit. Okay. So let's go back to that later. I can show you what happened on the real one. Once it has been deployed, you have access to your output variable of your Terraform. So now you can, for example, here you can see the bucket name that has been created, the S3 region, and the secret created for the user. Those variables are automatically injected into the Qovery variable. So your other application can reuse them directly. And one nice addition also is in the deployment pipeline. We have added a new stage that is skipped. So for example, if you want, you can drop your Terraform service in the skip stage. So it is only if you want to redeploy your whole environment, but don't want to redeploy each time your Terraform service. You can move your Terraform service in the skip stage. So they are not deployed every time, like for all your application. And it's deploying now. And one nice feature also we have added into Terraform is being able to see all the resources that your Terraform created. So for example, we can see that this one has created an EAM access key, an EAM policy, user, and a S3 bucket. So from the interface, you can directly see what your Terraform is managing and what are the values. For the secret, what is for the sensible stuff, we hide them, so is not forwarded to Qovery, so it stays within your cluster. And that's it for me. Oh. Let's show you. So the Terraform is building and the OpenTofu is creating, and you will be able to see the plan.
Here we are. It's coming up.
Here we are. You can see them in the deployment log also, but also in the service deployment. So you can see that the plan created all those resources, and you have directly access to the Terraform diff. So it's easy to review for you. And once you are happy with your plan, you can decide to plan and apply or destroy or force unlock or migrate your Terraform. And all those actions are directly available to you. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Romain. Let me go back to the presentation. Here we are. Now, one of the biggest pieces of infrastructure work we did this quarter was migrating away from NGINX Ingress. So NGINX Ingress was deprecated at the end of March, which means no more maintenance, no more security fixes, and thus a growing risk of unpatched CVEs. So staying on it was definitely not an option. And we choose to move to an architecture based on Envoy and API Gateway. It's a more future-proof foundation that also unlocks new capabilities down the road. This was a significant piece of work led by Benjamin, one of our engineers. And not only we had to redesign the architecture, but we also had to migrate all our customers safely. And to do this in a smooth way, we built kind of a double stack approach. Both the old and new systems run in parallel on each cluster, so customers can test the new setup before fully switching over. I'm not gonna explain all the details here. There is an interesting article on our blog that has been written by Benjamin around the migration. So if you want to have a look, please, that's there is some good content over there. Observability has been a focus for us in the second half of the last year, providing you with a single tool to manage and observe your application all within Qovery. So following a few customer feedback this quarter, we have extended both the coverage and the flexibility of that system we had that, for example, support to container database, the clone of existing alerts, and also adding email as a target for you, so that your team can get notified where it matters. And by the way, if you're interested in enabling the observability on your account, you can reach out to your customer success manager and discuss with her to know better how to activate the features. And now I'm gonna jump into a quick demo to show you what we released, and even as well other few improvements that we released recently in the UI. Let me share the just 1 second. This one. Can you see my screen is kind of loading? Yes, it's arriving in a few seconds. Here we are. So we have a Hive environment with a few services. So you can see the front end, backend application, S3 buckets. So a complete environment. And if you go, for example, one of the services, we're gonna have a monitoring tab, allowing you to check metrics on the environments. For example, like the number of instances running over time, then the usage in terms of CPU, memory, and as well on the network part. So for example, this is a test application that where I've been sending a few requests in the past hour. So you can see that we can see as well the number of requests per second coming in, the duration, the millisecond, as well the size of the requests and then you can see at some point I stopped sending requests, and it just went down as well. The application went down from 2 instances to 1 instances, following the downscales in terms of instances running on the application. Of course, so as I said, we deliver this for databases, so you have similar information on the monitoring section, which are more specific to database, where, for example, you have more visibility around the storage that is used by the application, CPU memory, but also storage use in terms of megabit per second in read and write. And another point, so we delivered recently was, if you go, for example, on the monitoring section, you can, so this was already available before, you can define alerts as well, because it's okay to monitor, but you need to be notified when things go wrong. For example, I can define alerts based on those metrics. For example, I want to be notified that when an instance restarts, and can be easily done just an interface. You can just define, for example, the name of the text that's going to be sent into notification. So I'm going to just put some text here, the severity, and the notification channel. Before we only had Slack as a notification channel. We introduced recently emails as a notification channel. So, for example, if you want to send them to a specific email as a specific email address, you can just create a new notification channel, select email, and then you're gonna basically define the connection to your SMTP server to basically send those notifications. Just for the test, I'm gonna just create it. And another thing that we added recently is the clone. So you cannot clone. So once you, for example, configure one service completely with some standard alerts, you can just clone all of them to other services right away from this interface. I'll just clone it. I clone the alert, and that's it, and it's done. A few other things. So that's for the observed part. Maybe what's interesting as well, the other few improvements we delivered recently. We had added a check on the auto deploy. So now you can see right now if the webhook configuration, because there is a webhook that is configured on your Git account to inform Qovery in case of any new commit coming in. So we added this check to let you know if everything is working fine and if any new comments will really trigger an auto deploy of the application, thanks to the auto deploy feature. And another thing that been added recently was the audit logs revamp. So, by the way, you can access either from the general view on the left side, or either if you want to see exactly the differences and everything that has changed on this application, you can just access from this section. So this is the new view. And what's interesting to see as well here is, now I have an example. I need to remove some example. You can really see what has been changed. So it's an update event. So, for example, on this application, I know, for example, the number of instances has changed from 3 to 2. So now I can clearly see into the interface what has changed, and not just knowing that something has changed without knowing what. And another thing that we delivered recently, now going back into my application, is so Qovery can allows you to build the application. So we have a built-in CI where basically you can build the application with Qovery. What was missing was actually a visibility on the builder resources they were using. So that, for example, if you're hitting, I don't know, for example, the limit in terms of CPU, or maybe the builder is going out of memory because maybe you're using too much resources, you didn't have too much visibility on that. So we have added a builder run usage on the top right of the page that you can access, and then we're gonna have a view on the. I'm gonna share the link. It's gonna look something like this, so you can have a visibility on the number of resources that have been used during the building phase in terms of CPU. So if you are hitting, for example, in this case, we're hitting 100% of CPU, so it means that we could go beyond. For example, but the memory is still looking fine. We're not hitting the limit. And this helps you as well to maybe ask your customer success manager to increase the builder, because we can change the builder size. So if you want to go faster, maybe you're hitting some limit, get in touch with your customer success manager that will be able to modify the builder size. It's something that is not available for customer directly, but we can manage and modify this for you. Let me go back to the presentation. Here we are. Now we're moving to a section that has been part of our product pillar over the past months. So Qovery built for the AI era. AI is taking more and more space in how developers and ops team work every day. This is why we are actively rethinking how Qovery is built and the use case we cover with AI. We're pushing AI into the platform in a pragmatic way, not AI just for the sake of it, but AI where it actually reduces friction, saves time, and makes your team more effective. Let's show you what that looks like in practice. So we worked the last quarter in two improvements. The first one is around the troubleshooting. So one of the most painful moments in a developer's life a day is probably when a deployment fails and you have no idea why. So you're jumping between the deployment logs, the application logs, the server status. You try to pull the data from different places and try to understand what went wrong. It can become quickly a nightmare. This is why this is exactly where we decide to bring AI in a pragmatic way. So our Copilot can now help you troubleshoot deployments directly inside Qovery. It reads the context, pulls the relevant signals, and tells you what went wrong. Also now the Copilot, by the way, is currently in beta, so it's open to anyone. So if you want to try it, just go into the settings of your organization. You can activate it by yourself. And now I'm going to hand it over to Killian, who built this feature. So he's the one who can present to you a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Ariel. Yeah, let's talk about the Copilot. I will share my screen. Okay, so first I will quickly explain how the Copilot works. So the Copilot is an AI agentic thing. So it means that not just answer a quick question, it can autonomously plan complex plan and analyze metrics, fetch logs, and schedule complex tasks and recurring tasks. It can do a lot of things, but it can also answer documentation question, of course. The first example, as Ale said, that is the troubleshoot deployment. Here we are an environment with a lot of services. It will take a lot of time to check every log, every deployment log, and understand why the deployment failed. So now with the Copilot, once you have activated it in the AI Copilot setting, you can just after have the button right here or right here. You have the button in multiple places. You can click on it and it will open automatically the Copilot and ask the question, why did my deployment fail with the deployment ID? So in the back, what's going on, it will fetch the deployment log, the application logs, and try to find why the deployment failed. So here we can see that the root cause is the Terraform LS service that try to use a MySQL version that doesn't exist. So you can directly fix the issue directly with the solution. So the Copilot has two modes for now, is the read-only mode and the read-write mode. With the read-only, you can only read in your organization, but can't make change. And we can see that the read-write mode can make change in your organization, but for now it's in beta mode, so only the read-only mode is available. A second example that I want to show you is, for example, memory issue. For example, if I click on this button, in the same example, it's a service that doesn't work. So the Copilot have the context of where you are in the UI, So you don't have to precise which service you're talking about. Just click on it, and Copilot will understand where you are. So here we can see that the application is an out-of-memory error. So you can fix it by yourself while going in the setting resource or clicking the link. But you can also open a new chat, activate the read-write mode, and say increase my memory allocation to 1. It's the exact solution that the Copilot said before. And redeploy, for example. So the Copilot will create a new plan with the get current application configuration, update application memory to 1, and redeploy the application with updated memory allocation. So as you can see, if I refresh this page and go to the setting page, in resources, you can see that the memory increased to 1, and the service redeployed. So it can do a lot of tasks in this way. Here's a task, but you can do a more complex task. And the last thing that I want to show you with the Copilot is the schedule task. So what is schedule task is some task that you can run recurrently. So for example, something that I want to show you is I'm here in the service, backend service. So I can tell here, for example, every error, analyze the logs of this service from the past errors, and send a summary in Slack. And just by giving a Slack webhook link, so you can add a Slack webhook in every Slack channel easily. I can send this, and it will create a schedule task, as you can see, creating schedule task that you can retrieve the task right here. So analyze the log, you can pause and delete it. And every error, you will receive a message like this directly in Slack that will analyze the log of the service, so you can easily see if there is something going wrong. So yeah, that's it for me. You can use the Copilot directly by activating this in the organization admin setting and try it by yourself, only on read-only mode for now, but read-write mode is in progress.
Okay, thank you, Kylian. Very good stuff. And let me go back to the presentation quickly. This one is about our core MCP. So the way we interact with the tools is changing as well. So not only we have AI agent directly in the product, but also we can interact with products differently today. AI agents are becoming a core part of how developers and ops team work today. And MCP is emerging as a standard. This is why we built the Qovery MCP servers, allowing AI agents tools to interact with Qovery directly. So you can trigger deployments, getting Qovery, the Qovery environment status, running action directly from an agent, but also, for example, from your cloud desktop directly by integrating the MCP server locally. If you want to go deeper on how we built this, what MCP means for platform teams, Romain wrote a great article on this, and it's available on our blog as well. Now, we're reaching actually the last section of today's demo day, and the most exciting one actually is what's next. This is just a small recap of things that you might expect to come up in Q2. So you might have received as well the notification, but we are working on upgrading the clusters of our customers to 1.34, 1.35. So this is something we handle entirely for our customers, and it represents a significant amount of work under the hood. So keeping cluster up to date, making sure nothing breaks in the process, and Qovery takes care of it for our customers. On the integration part, we're gonna improve the integration with the existing stack. So for example, if you have one of the first one we're working right now is Argo CD. So if you have, for example, Argo CD resources living aside, they want to keep using Argo CD, that's actually what we're trying to do, to try to make coexist Argo CD and Qovery at the same time, and propose next a way to manage or import into Qovery those existing Argo CD resources. On the external secret manager, same. If you, for example, you're using a secret manager like AWS Secret Manager, there we're gonna provide you a way to import the secret inside the application that you are deploying via Qovery. So without no effort, we're gonna manage for you the external secret operator that is gonna be connected to your secret manager and pull the secrets from there. To provide you more self-service capabilities, you're working also on the service catalog. The first one will be around the Qovery service templates. We're going to provide you a list of services built in out of the box. For example, just one-click S3 buckets, SQSQ, and all the basic building blocks you might need to build your infrastructure, but also giving you the possibility to DevOps admin, the possibility to build their own catalog. So for example, you want to provide self-service capabilities to your teams to deploy services or entire environments. You can just define your blueprint and share it with your team so they can use them in a safe way. On the Copilot, so moving forward, we had this first use case that Kylian presented around troubleshooting. The next step will be to provide you more information about deployment times. How can you improve it? What can you do? Maybe there's something to be done on the deployment on the Docker file, something to do into your configuration. So that's the where we're gonna go next to helping you and reduce the deployment times of your application. Still on deployment and build flow, so we're gonna improve the build flow, trying to split the build part from the deployment part, and have kind of a promotion system, so allowing you to promote an application, so an application build from one environment to another. So for example, you have a development, staging, and prod, so you want to promote, for example, one build application that you tested it in staging, you want to promote it into production. We're gonna build this kind of flow inside the platform. And last but not least, we're building a cluster layer file management, so a way for you to handle in one place 1, 10, 20 more clusters all in one place by just defining the layers you want to deploy. For example, you want to have a layer of observability stack that's going to be deployed around all the production cluster with different configuration, and you're going to manage this all in one place. Last but not least, and something special for the last slide, it should be shipped pretty soon. So there's the new navigation. I'm gonna do a very quick demo right now. It's just kind of a spoiler, but it's something is gonna be released and actually either next week or the week after. Let me share very quickly my screen. It's gonna come, and here we are. So this is the new navigation. This is a new UI. As you can see, there is the dark mode, but you can switch so you can have the light to dark or the light dark mode. Something new that was expected since a long time now. The work that was done behind is both in terms of UX. So we reviewed a little bit a few flow inside the UI. For example, on the first on the overview of the organization, now you can see the list of projects directly. You can define preferred project that come up in the list. You have access to the changelog, a quick view on the status of your clusters directly from the first interface. But it also was a way for us as well to rebuild from a technical point of view. There's gonna be an article over that on the things that we changed, both on the UX and the technical part. Going more into details of things that changed. If you go into a project, now there is a clear separation between environment types. We have a production, development, staging, and ephemeral environment clearly separated. If you go, for example, on one environment now, you have a quick view on the last deployment status directly from the UI. Still, you have a list of services. The pipeline has been moved elsewhere, so now you can see directly from here and not go into the settings of the environment. And something changed as well, a lot of change as well on the UI of the services, where basically you can have access directly to the service logs in the tabs. So we have this new tab system that wasn't present before, with access to the cloud shell as well directly available here. And last but not least, as well on the variables, there has been kind of a split between the custom variables and the built-in one, not mixed anymore together. So you can clearly see what you've been defining by yourself and what has been defined as a built-in variable for Qovery. And I'm gonna stop right here, not to share too much. We're gonna discover this pretty soon in the UI by yourself. And I'm gonna go back to the presentation because actually this was the last slide. That was all from us today. It was a pleasure to be here with Romain and Kylian, and thanks for the help on this. Thank you for watching, and see you next quarter.